Sports Bash here on 97.3 ESPN. It's the day before UFC 202, but UFC 204 is down the road as well. And the man who won the Middleweight Championship just recently will be fighting in his home country, defending that belt against Dan Henderson. That's Michael Bisping. Champ, glad to have you on the line today.
My absolute pleasure. How you doing?
Good. I talked to you before the fight went down, and I told you I was looking forward to you winning the belt. Can you bring the listeners back to that moment about how it felt for you to finally get that UFC gold?
Well, it was a lifetime's work. Even though I took the fight on 2 weeks' notice, it was as my boxing coach said. He said, "You've trained a lifetime for this moment." So I think that was the reason I went out there and I was successful. And yeah, of course, it felt amazing. Rockhold and I don't exactly get along. And he didn't have nice things to say about me. I took the fight on 2 weeks' notice. I got revenge. I got to shut him up, and I won the world championship. So, to be honest, it was amazing. It really was.
So you go from the opportunity to win the UFC title, you got the belt, and now you get the amazing opportunity to defend your belt in your home country and as well get revenge against a previous loss. Talk about that feeling as well.
Yeah, that's right. Of course, every fighter wants to be the world champion. And then if you're the champion, you want to go home and defend the belt in your home city. And to do that in Manchester, my first event, I'm super excited. To be honest, I don't even think that really kind of sums it up, if I'm honest. I'm just very, very honoured. I'm going to get to defend the belt in Manchester. And as you say, I get to take on Dan Henderson. I get to get revenge. Of course, Dan Henderson, we have fought before. It didn't end too well for me the first time round. And, that is a fight that I've wanted to rectify for a long, long time. So, of course, I'm very, very happy that I get to do that, and in Manchester, my hometown. So, yeah, super excited.
UFC 204 is going to be the third time that you get to fight in 2016. Talk about, for a fighter, preparing to fight that many times in a year, because a lot of guys, they only get a chance to fight 2 times, but to fight 3 times, you got to be in shape. You got to be mentally prepared, right?
Well, to be honest, it's not really an issue. As a fighter, we kind of stay in shape all year round, and this is what we do. And the more active we are, the more money we are generating. So it's not really an issue, and it's not really a hardship, to be honest. I welcome it. I really do. So, it's a relatively quick turnaround from the last fight with Rockhold. That was in June. This is October. It's only a few months. But as I say, it keeps me on my toes, keeps me fresh, keeps me in the gym, keeps me being active. So, yeah, I'm all for it.
I got to know, how was your vacation in Thailand?
It was great, thank you. Yeah, it was nice to take the kids out there, take them to the other side of the world, show some different culture. Of course, I squeezed a bit of training in whilst I was out there as well. So that was nice. It was nice to take my son to an authentic Muay Thai gym in Thailand. That was something I didn't get to experience until I was a lot older. So, yeah, it was a great vacation. Thank you very much.
We're talking with Michael Bisping, the UFC middleweight champion. He defends his belt at UFC 204, Bisping versus Henderson 2. That'll be in Manchester, England, and on pay-per-view. Speaking of the UFC, Michael, tomorrow is a big fight, UFC 202, McGregor versus Diaz 2. For me, I kind of have a bit of Conor McGregor fatigue, though, because I feel like this guy, he's only been around for a couple minutes, and yet, he's, getting all this accolades, whereas a guy like you, you've been talking and backing up your talk for years. So from a fighter's perspective, what do you think of Conor McGregor?
Well, I've got to choose my words carefully because I'm surrounded literally right now. I'm looking at Conor McGregor's manager and some of his staff and some of his friends. So it's not, you're asking me what do I think of him. Of course, I think a lot of him. He's a good friend, and we both have the same manager. And even if they were here, I wouldn't say the same thing. Conor's doing incredible things. He's taking over the sport, and this fight this weekend is absolutely massive. Everybody's interested, not just MMA fans, people all over the world, mainstream attention. Everybody's watching this fight this weekend, so it's incredible. It's a lot of fun to watch.
What did you think of the incident with the bottle throwing at the press conference?
It was a little petty, but it is what it is. These guys are going to fight on Saturday night. What's a few bottles here and there,
I was wondering because I've never seen something like that where a guy just starts throwing stuff at another guy at a press conference before, and I thought it was bizarre. And I'm watching the press conference and I see Glover Teixeira just sitting there like, what did I just get myself into? Kind of look on his face.
Yeah, well, yeah. Diaz threw a water bottle, so I guess I mean, Conor's going to retaliate. Anyone's going to retaliate. I think I had a good same thing. If someone throws a water bottle at me, and I've got a water bottle right in front of me, I think I'd throw it back at them as well. So, I mean, it was unfortunate, but it did the job, I guess. I mean, it wasn't planned or anything like that, but it's definitely going to boost the pay-per-view sales, that's for sure.
UFC 202 tomorrow night on pay-per-view. McGregor versus Diaz 2, also a loaded card. Mike, if I could transition for a moment a little bit outside the octagon. While you were on vacation, a lot of news came down about John Jones and about Brock Lesnar testing positive for PEDs, and you're a guy who's been very open about your distaste with all of this stuff and the fact that you've actually been in the middle of an interview and invited the testers to come in and test you in the middle of an interview. So talk about your perspective on these guys who are dirty in the sport.
Well, that's a difficult one to answer. I mean, what is my opinion? Of course, anybody that takes steroids, it's shame on them. Absolutely. I mean, I've always been a clean athlete. I've always done it the hard way, and unfortunately, not everybody does. There is people out there looking for shortcuts and this and that. I don't want to throw any of these people under a bus because John Jones is entitled to his due process. Apparently, some things are coming out that maybe he's not guilty after all. But the fact of the matter is that some people do take shortcuts, some people do take steroids, and as I said, shame on them. Anybody that does that, I don't know how they look at themselves in the mirror. I don't know how they sleep at night because this is a dangerous sport. And if you're going to take performance-enhancing drugs, then, shame on them.
Talking with Michael Bisping, the UFC middleweight champion. Mike, before I let you go, I'm going to let you take the stage for a moment, and I'm going to have you promote UFC 204. Go ahead.
UFC 204, that's me and Dan Henderson. If anybody is a fan of Dan Henderson, tune in because that's going to be his last fight. He's saying that he may have one more or this and that. Trust me, when I get finished with him, he ain't going to want to step foot near an octagon ever again. If you want to see some violence, you want to see an old man get knocked the out, tune in. Don't miss it. UFC 204, October 8th.
Mike, always appreciate the time. Congratulations on winning the belt and look forward to seeing you fight in October.
All right, buddy. Take care. Thank you.